G'day new starters, here we are again. As many of you are well aware, I am into the 5th year of a rather extended higher education program that started with an undergraduate degree and is now in my honours. I'm now doing my honours program, and if I do well enough, and it is a big if, on the honours, I hope to be able to go in to do a PhD. That is something that I have wanted most of my adult life ever since I finished my Diploma of Ministry back in the 80s. And in 2009, when I was talking about that desire to my wife, she said to me, well, you need to go and do it. And I said, yeah, but if I do it and I'm able to do it as fast as I can, I'll be into my late 50s by the time I finish. And Emmy said to me those words have stuck with me ever since. It's very, very wise and built on years of this process. She said to me, you'll be in your late 50s whether you have the degrees or not. The question is, do you want to be there wishing you had tried or knowing whether or not you're able to? And of course that helped me make the decision, and I enrolled in uni at the end of that year and started in 2010 and have finished my undergraduate program, now doing my honours, and hope, as I said, to get into the PhD. This has been a rather long journey, and I have tried on a couple of occasions to get started in that educational program. The most significant of those attempts happened for me back in the early 90s. I was pastoring my second church and had decided to go into an undergraduate program and looked at doing a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Well, I didn't know at the time how much Emmy believed in me and wanted that for my life. I just thought that she accepted that's what I wanted to do. Until one day I came home, and there in my office was a brand new computer. And we are going back quite a few years, and compared to today's technology it wasn't very much, but compared to back then and what I needed, it was a top of the range computer. And Emmy had bought that for me as a lavish expression. She arranged all the financing herself and committed to paying it off with her own part-time work, and it was an expression, a lavish expression of her love for me. And I discovered then, as I have increasingly discovered across the years, that love communicates what we are wanting to say better than any other medium. And Emmy wanted to say to me, I believe in you, I think you can do it, go for it. And that computer purchase was an expression of that love. I'm reminded of a story in the scriptures that we know as the prodigal son. Of course, I'm sure you know it too, where the son takes his inheritance, goes away, squanders is the word that we often use in reference to the story. He wastes his money just pleasing himself, and comes to a point where he can't even support himself, and he is brought to feeding pigs and surviving on a very small income by doing that. And during that process he comes to his senses, and he decides to go back to his father and ask his father if he can be one of his servants, actually one of his slaves, because he's not worthy of being a son. And of course the focus of the story is his return home and this lavish expression of love that his father gives. His father runs and meets him on the road and then throws an enormous party for him, and the son says, I don't deserve it. He said, and his father says, my son which was dead is now alive. And he's overjoyed, and he's trying to give expression to his joy, that joy that flows from a father's heart of love. But the expression of that love is countercultural. It's against the way people would expect it to be. In a day of justice and laws and rules, that son deserved to be completely ostracized, and the highest thing he could hope for would be to be a slave. But the father said, my son that was dead is now alive, and my love for him is important for more than anything else. And to me, that's the most important understanding that we can have in our faith. To allow God's love to permeate our lives so much that our expressions of love go counter to any self-protectionism, any cultural limitation, and is a clear expression of the value of others to us. And that kind of love is a divine kind of love. It is God's love, and it is available to us and given freely to us that we might live lives out of that love. Well, hopefully as you go through this week, those words will resonate with you. Thank you for being with me again.